Hello, I'm Lee Fletcher from Regain Hearing.
And I'm Matthew Pearson from Zone 1 Hearing.
Today we're going to be reviewing the Oticon Opn hearing aid, which is here in this box. So, let's see what we have. I'll let you carry on.
Sure, okay. So the first thing we have is a very comprehensive instruction manual with all the instructions in English, which is always really handy, covering the full open behind the ear range.
Open it up. Show.
Yeah.
So the visuals in here are actually really good. Some instruction manuals aren't brilliant. They're quite small. They don't take into account people might not actually be able to see very well. These are very visual. Everything you need to know about this product is here. So if you're in any doubt at all, it's actually really useful to use that instruction guide.
And then next we have the hearing aids themselves. So inside this box here,
It's actually a lovely packaging.
Yeah, it's very good actually.
Compared to some of the other manufacturers around, they've thought about every detail. So where they place things and what you actually get in the packet is every detail sort.
We have the little cleaning tool.
Yeah, I was going to say
within the package.
Cleaning packs.
Yeah. And then next we have...
Let's get to the hearing aids.
The hearing aids themselves. So we've got them in the black here, which is always a really good option. If someone's wearing spectacles, it can hide away and look as if it's the end of spectacles, or if someone's got black hair. And as a style statement, it gets away from the typical sort of beige look of an NHS hearing instrument.
So...
And this little piece here, in case you're wondering, is either called a retention or sports lock, and curls up into this part of the ear here for extra retention and security within the ear.
So you have domes which go on the end of the speaker. You have filters that it can be changed if the filter gets blocked with wax, skin, anything like that, which we shall go through. So the domes, quite handy. You get a nice little packet. Again, every detail's been thought about. So very small ends to the hearing aid. So this protects the speaker. So you get a speaker, microphones. You may notice this is the same design as everything that came before it, which is my only, I suppose, negative aspect of this. So clients who have NHS hearing aids, they look like this. They've obviously wanted to keep continuity with design, which I don't particularly like myself because I love the design, but they've kept the same design. What is in this is phenomenal. What we're about to describe to you, it's the most incredible hearing instrument, but it looks the same as something from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a slight negative, but it's a very different hearing aid. So where is my client?
There's your client.
They're actually very easy to fit. They've got a very sleek design. So the speaker goes into the ear canal and the aid goes over the top. So it fits in beautifully and it disappears. So even with the transparent ear, you can see it's a very neat design. I'm going to place that back there.
Okay.
And you can talk about why they're so good.
Well, the first thing that really struck me about the Oticon Opn was the slightly mind-blowing specifications. I read and almost thought there was a typo. It said the hearing aid makes 1.2 billion calculations per second. So let's put it in perspective with its predecessor aid. It's 50 times quicker. So that's, if you like this analogy, Usain Bolt doing 100 meters in 10 seconds. This guy comes along, he's doing it in 0.2 of a second. Second thing, they've basically taken the rule book and thrown it out. 50 years of hearing aid sort of technology knowledge out the window. They've completely redesigned it. So what we've said for 50 years, if you want to hear in noise, you've got to go directional. More recently, super directional. However, what the Opn does, because its processing is so quick, it allows you to hear sound from any particular direction and allows the brain to pick what you want to hear by reducing noise in any one of the 64 channels. So I think those features alone, for me, really sold me on Oticon as a brand, and that's why I started to begin using them.
Well, use the word brain hearing. This is something they've trademarked. So Oticon brain hearing sounds like another word they've come up with. It's actually a ton of research for years. So scientists over in Denmark researched how we hear. And the way we hear is through our brains. So although we're putting hearing aids in our ears are just a conduit, like our eyes. So when you go into a noisy place, the way this actually works, what we're getting to is the fact that you can hear. If you go somewhere noisy, the main complaint with any hearing aid wearer is that I can't hear people around me. All I can hear is the noise. You get it from NHS aids, you get it from hearing aids up until this year, pretty much. Not all of them, but the beautiful thing about what these do is they put speech above the noise. You have to still hear the noise. You've got to relearn it. It's brain training. You've got to rehabilitate to what you are hearing around you. So the first time you go into a noisy place, you know about it, especially if you haven't been there for a while. So we don't really encourage that. You wait for a little while. But when you go in there, you can hear someone. You sit across a table from in a restaurant. You can focus on them or someone else you're not looking at. When you get a bit of crosstalk, that's one of the hardest things. These guys will focus your attention on whatever you want to hear. So you can ignore what you don't want to hear. You have to relearn this. It takes 10 years of our lives to learn how to hear and how to learn to ignore what you don't want to hear. So by age 10, you can pretty much do that. It's why kids don't react when they're watching telly. So brain hearing is a phenomenal way of giving you the opportunity to choose what you want to listen to.
And a couple of other really cool features. If you want your sort of fairly basic remote control to turn the volume up and down, and if you want some additional programs, you can do. What we find with most Oticon Opn one wearers is pretty much like having a very sophisticated automatic car. You can have the extra programs, you probably won't need them because it kind of goes against the whole philosophy of this open hearing. So just put them in, get them to the volume level you're comfy with, you can do it with that. Alternatively, there is a smartphone app, so you can download the Oticon On app. What that will allow you to do is turn them up and down, individually adjust them if necessary. Again, if you've got the additional programs, you can access them. And something that I find really cool, if you're someone who has tinnitus, they've got a range of environmental noises. I personally use what they call Ocean Sound 2, and it's such a realistic sound. I've been in my kitchen one time wearing them and then turned around to see where the ocean sound was coming from, had forgotten it was in the hearing aids. So compared to other brands, I found that much better and helps suppress it. So that's a really nice feature. And another one which patients really tend to love, you can use this TV adapter so that if you have your TV on, you can receive the sound straight into the hearing aids. So it's very immersive, it's very high quality, you'll hear more of the dialogue, and even if you move to another part of your property, you can still pick up the sound. So, I mean, there's so many features. This could have been a feature-length movie, so obviously we're going to try and minimize it. My advice would be, if you're anything like my hearing aid testers who evaluate products for me or my patients, these hearing aids will do things other hearing aids won't. So I'd advise, if you've got a hearing loss, they should be on your shortlist to try.
What I find is that on the first follow-up visit, when we ask someone how they're getting on for the first time in our entire career, 13 years, they just say, yeah, it's great. Or, oh, can you just change the wire a bit? Or can you change a bit in the air? So, okay, well, how is it in noise? Oh, yeah, it's okay. Never had this before.
Yeah.
So this changed everything. The way Oticon came about it, I love what they've done, and the fact that if you get it right, if you fit it properly, and that's the skill, that's our job, you've got to get the right dome, the right speaker. If you get that right and go through the process properly, it just sounds brilliant. Which makes our lives better. It makes, obviously, the patient's lives better.
And I suppose something we've neglected to mention, these are an MFI product, so made for iPhone. So if you are one of the, I think almost 39% of people in the UK who own an iPhone, when you press to receive the call, you're going to receive that directly in the hearing aids. So that's a nice feature. You've got what they call Live Listen to use your iPhone as a remote microphone, and there is an additional remote mic you can use if you do have an Android phone. There is a way of streaming a landline phone call directly into the hearing aids. So they really are a full fat hearing aid. So yeah, I mean that would
as
be
opposed to semi-skimmed.
Semi-skimmed. We don't like semi-skimmed. We like full fat hearing aids. Yeah.
So that pretty much rounds it up. I think you've covered everything there.
I think so.
There are a lot more technical aspects of it, but I don't think we need to cover them. These just work. That's what I love about this product. They've come along and given us something that we've all asked for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Lee Fletcher, Regain Hearing.
And I'm Matthew Pearson from Zone 1 Hearing.
If you like what you've seen today, please like our video, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Goodbye.